WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. A recent judge's order is changing gun rules at courthouses in the First Circuit Court District.
Our Riley Livingston takes a look at the new order and some opposition to it. She joins us in the studio with more. Riley.
Before, when court was in session, people with permitted concealed weapons were able to enter the courthouse, but not the courtroom. Today, things are changing.
Courthouses in the First Circuit Court District have new rules to follow when it comes to weapons. The First Circuit judges say the entire courthouse is an extension of the courtroom, which means guns, even permitted concealed weapons, aren't allowed during court session. The reason? Safety.
The whole intention of this whole law, or this order that we got from the judges, is just to make sure that the courthouse is safe. It's safe for the general public. It's safe for the judges. It's safe for the deputies that are working there and the people that are employed there.
But guns rights activist Rick Ward says this won't change anything. He says nationwide state court statistics show only 78 so-called violent attacks occurred in the last 10 years studied in county courthouses. None of those involved guns, explosives, or fire. 5 or less occurred inside the courthouse. Regulation of firearms would prevent such shootings. In every case, the shooting occurred with the use of a deputy's gun after being overpowered by a suspect. He says this goes against a recent ruling by the Mississippi Supreme Court. Ward filed a case against the 14th Chancery District in Lowndes County, and the Supreme Court decided the orders were too broad and could never be constitutional as written. They said the judiciary had no authority outside the courtroom doors. And they said the state constitution only allows the legislature to regulate concealed weapons. The difference between the 14th Chancery District order and the most recent order is when it applies. The First Circuit order only applies when court is in session.
While court is in session, that no one, even in the courthouse, because it's an extension of the courtroom, can do that also. And I think that's a good situation, because we want our court people, our court staffs, to be just as safe as people in the courtroom.
Ward says the difference is one of language. The judges want weapons banned during court sessions, while the law as written singles out judicial proceedings. He says different judges may interpret those terms in different ways. For now, Sheriff Cecil Cantrell says the judge's ruling stands.
We're going to keep the weapons out of the courtroom and also out of the courthouse at this point. That's what the judges have ordered, and we're going to go with that order.
The ruling applies to courthouses in the First Circuit Court District. That includes Alcorn, Itawamba, Lee, Monroe, Pontotoc, Prentiss, and Tishomingo counties.
All right, right in our studio with that story. A recent string of contraband has Lee County Sheriff Jim Johnson revamping county jail policy. Johnson says Emily Yingling of Blue Springs is suspected of hiding drugs inside clothing she was leaving for a prisoner. Current inmates James Eaton and Randall Button are each facing the same charge of introducing contraband into a correctional facility. The case prompted Johnson to issue new jail rules on Wednesday. His office is no longer allowing any outside clothing inside the jail.
3 Columbus police officers are being called heroes after rescuing a man trapped inside of a collapsed building during the recent tornado. On Tuesday, officers Eric Roman and Roger Tate and Corporal Roman Solms received certificates of commendation for their actions. Aside from rescuing an elderly man, the 3 officers also administered life-saving aid to a shooting victim on the same day. Our Quentin Smith speaks with one of the officers. He has more on this story coming up tonight on WCBI News at 9 and 10. Time now to turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. He joins us with a first look at your forecast.
Hey, real quick, Joey, what's coming our way? We have some rain that will be possible tomorrow, some storms on Saturday, some of which could be strong to severe again before we have another break in the action on Sunday. Right now, not a lot going on. We've had a little bit of moisture being detected in the clouds, but I think that is staying aloft, although some of that could actually reach the ground later this evening. More clouds than anything else. You can see that right now. Temperatures currently in the 50s in most spots as we go throughout the course of the evening. 50s, maybe some upper 40s here. Better odds of rain by the morning. I'm back with your full forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Keith, thanks a lot. New storm damage numbers are released today. 273 structures and 93 homes were affected by the tornado and flooding. 31% of those were rental units. 36% of those impacted did not have insurance. 43 homes were destroyed, 57 had major damage, 80 had minor damage. Those updated numbers and counts come from information developed through March the 4th. Now, Red Cross Case Management will be setting up Friday and Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. at the Trotter Convention Center to provide financial assistance to families whose homes were destroyed or suffered major damage. And there will be a town hall meeting at the municipal complex Monday at 6 p.m.
Community centers are included in those 273 damaged structures. Columbus has 8 parks in the city and 3 community centers. One suffered tornado damage while 2 others felt flooding impact.
Sim Scott Park Community Center may be a total loss, and the park had a lot of damage also. Our Jory Talley joins us live now from the park with more on that. Jory.
The tornado left reminders all over Sim Scott Park. The park and the community center sit in the center of damage, which you can see all around me. Right now, it's a sad sight for many in the neighborhood, but it won't stay that way forever. The recent Columbus tornado ripped the heartbeat of this community to pieces.
This park is very significant to the community. There's a lot of rich history in this park. A lot of firsts happened in this park. As a matter of fact, I played baseball in this park. So, I mean, it's like this park means a lot to the community. And once we make sure that our citizens are safe and make sure that they're taken care of, we're going to do everything we can to try to put it back together again.
Memories of what used to be linger. Columbus Parks and Rec Director Greg Lewis sees a completely different view today than he did over 20 years ago when he landed his first job out here.
There's a lot of sentimental value that, you know, goes in this park because you've worked here and you've helped put things together, and each person that works here has that sentimental value. And then you've got the seniors that have been here for years and years and years, and a lot of their things, their quilts and things were destroyed, and that's why I was over there trying to see can I recover some of the stuff from their quiltings and things like that, but it's really not anything left.
What's usually a thriving place now looks more like a ghost town. Lewis says damage estimates are around $1 million.
Pretty much everything got damaged except for that one single bench over there. The Joe Edwards bench is probably the only thing that's not damaged, including, even though the building is still standing, the substation, it received damage as well.
Although Sim Scott is the only park with tornado scars, floodwaters left their mark at the Riverwalk and Probst Park.
The waters got up and received floods, but it didn't get into any of the buildings, but it did, you know, get as high as 3 or 4 feet on the playground. So, I mean, it looked like everything was covered, but after the water subsided, we did go down, and as of right now, we've not found any damage.
Lewis says once initial recovery steps and assessments are done, rebuilding can start.
We've been looking at damage, and like I said, because of other agencies in town, we have to give them buildings. The school has been very helpful and beneficial. I have a meeting with them today, and they're going to try to come up with ways to kind of house these programs until we can get back on our feet again. So, like I said, the Columbus Municipal School District is doing a great job in trying to work with us.
Lewis says right now the main focus is making sure that the impacted residents, their safety and their welfare, that is the main concern. Then future plans for damaged buildings and properties like out here can start. Reporting live here in Columbus, Jory Talley, WCBI News.
Tornado victims are moving quickly to get power restored at their homes. The City of Columbus's inspection department has issued at least 41 electric permits since the twister hit. Home and business owners must get an electrician to fix any issues with the building. Once the repairs are approved by the inspection department, electricity can be reconnected. At last check, about 100 homes could not receive electricity.
A hotel and restaurant tax for Starkville Recreation moves forward in the legislature. The State House passed that bill today. It now moves to the State Senate. Revenue from this 1% tax would be used to maintain new and existing sports and recreational facilities in Starkville. Money could also be used to construct a new facility. If Governor Phil Bryant signs off, Starkville voters would then have to approve the measure.
Area students get a lesson in getting along.
We learn more about their life lessons when we come back. Welcome back. Columbus Middle School students learned a lesson in positivity today. The students got a special treat from special guest speaker Wes Schrickwell, who talked about building up your peers rather than tearing them down. He says it's a lesson people of all ages need to be reminded of.
that their actions every day are important, that the way they treat people, the way that they talk to people, the way they care about people can really affect them negatively or positively, and that they would really consider the way they talk to people and treat people, and to see that it really feels a lot better to build people up than to tear them down.
Always be a nice kid and don't try to be a follower, just be yourself.
Both of them with some great advice there. Gavin Weatherspoon, who you just heard from, was this year's recipient of the Nice Kid Award.
Good award. An independent filmmaker from North Mississippi says his latest project is proof that quality movies can be produced with some hard work and many volunteers. Glenn Payne has been able to turn his love of movie making into a full-time career, but he says there are challenges, including money, especially for those who are just starting out. Payne says although some state grants have been cut, there are creative ways to fund projects.
We had been fortunate in the past to get grants for different films. This one did not have one, but we did. We put in some of our own funds, and we had a few investors. After all the years of making short films with no money at all, we tried to hone the craft and learn our lessons. And we did some crowdfunding with this, which really helped people get involved, and they got perks for giving money to the film. So we used every avenue.
And I intend to stick to it.
Payne's latest film, Driven, premieres in Tupelo next Friday evening at the Link Center.
Our Health Insurance Camera Network in Columbus, Vernon, at Durham's Pharmacy, downtown Tupelo, and Louisville, Mississippi right there shows the overcast conditions. Rain chances going on up. Storms too. The latest forecast is next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Well, it looks like we have some rain falling. Technically, we do. It's probably not really reaching the ground. Some of this could be in the form of a light sprinkle. New Albany, Ripley up here by Boonville, northwest of Tupelo. But most of that is staying aloft. Now, we do have a 40 to 50% chance of rain tomorrow. Basically a slam dunk for some rain and storms in the region Saturday. At this point, we're thinking Sunday may be dry. Let's hone in on that because we may see some more rain next week and maybe some more storms by next Wednesday and Thursday. As we zoom on in, we're still in the low 50s here. It was a struggle to warm things today after that chilly start, but we did. That's good news. A little bit warmer and more humid off to our southwest. The air is still very dry here, hence the fact that we're not really seeing a lot of that rain reach the ground, but the air is more humid back to the southwest, and that more humid air will be coming on up, and that will give us a chance for rain tomorrow, yes, and maybe some strong storms Saturday because of the moisture. And that thing right there, that area of low pressure moving into California. So all of that energy is headed our way, and it's going to team up and produce a cold front and storm system, and that cold front will sweep on through the region Saturday. All of this yellow, our area, that is a category 2 of 5 for severe weather, the severe weather threat. The actual individual threats, we're thinking wind the primary concern, although isolated tornadoes still possible with the setup. Quarter-size hail or larger, certainly a possibility, but we're just keeping that in the low threshold for now. And maybe a quick 1 to 2 inches of rain during the day Saturday. So that is something to just put down in your planner. Storms are possible. Not so much for tomorrow, though. Mostly cloudy. We start out around 50, back into the 60s. Now, there may be some storms rumbling at some point during the day, most likely during the second half into the evening, but non-severe activity tomorrow. And for most of the day, more clouds than anything else with some passing showers. So my advice to you is to have an umbrella. Just keep it on standby, because you may encounter a shower or two during the day. Temperatures will be warmer with a southerly breeze at 5 to 15. We should get back into the 60s. So that's where we're headed tomorrow. Let me show you Futurecast later tonight. Notice how the clouds stay with us. Showers possible during the morning, and then more rain possible in the afternoon and evening. There are those storms that may get going and then lift back to the north into Tennessee on Friday night. But Saturday morning, we're watching storms back to the west. Complexes of storms or several waves of storms may move on through the region during the day Saturday. The cold front's going to take forever to get through here, and as long as that front is back to the northwest on Saturday, we will have that chance for some strong storms. So something we will be monitoring, and we will continue to fine-tune over the next 24 hours. Don't forget about the time change Sunday. We spring forward, and guess what? More storms by the middle of next week.
Looking forward to springing forward. Local teams battle it out in Jackson with hopes of claiming a trophy and a state title. Highlights from today's games coming up next in sports.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Mississippi State with a double bye in the SEC tournament, which means that the Bulldogs won't see any action until tomorrow, and that just means that MSU will have all day to practice and prepare for the matchup against Tennessee. WCBI Sports' Tom Ebel was able to sit in on practice today and reports from Greenville with more.
At the beginning of today, Mississippi State didn't know who they were going to face in the SEC women's basketball quarterfinal. Was it going to be Tennessee or LSU? Well, now it's official. It'll be Mississippi State taking on the Lady Vols on Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time here inside Bon Secours Wellness Arena in Greenville, South Carolina. Mississippi State getting some work in early on Thursday. The Bulldogs fully healthy, fully here. Vic Schaefer company going through reps, going through practice. At the time of practice, they didn't know who they were going to be playing, but they still had to prepare for both. Mississippi State taking on Lady Vols team. They defeated 91-63 back in Starkville on February 10th. If you're looking at it matchup-wise, Tennessee likes to run. They want to get out in transition, and it's a team Mississippi State can match up well with, as they prove that they won in style in Starkville in February. But Mississippi State, they looked cool, they looked calm, they look relaxed, and we'll see if the Bulldogs can advance on to the semifinal coming up tomorrow here in Greenville. Reporting here inside Bon Secours Wellness Arena, Tom Ebel for WCBI Sports. Courtney, will send it back to you in Columbus.
Thank you, Tom. So like previously mentioned, Mississippi State will be matching up to Tennessee in the quarterfinals of the SEC tournament. That game tipping off tomorrow at noon. If Mississippi State gets the win in that game, they would obviously advance to the semifinals, and they would play either Missouri or Kentucky. That game also happening tomorrow as well. The quarterfinals, the semifinals will be happening on Saturday at 5 p.m. You can catch MSU play tomorrow on the SEC Network. Let's head over to Jackson, where Pine Grove is taking on Simmons for all the marbles in the 1A Girls State Championship. First quarter, Lauren Elliott attacking the hoop. She gets fouled, but gets the and one bucket. The basket's going to be good. The free throw as well, putting the Lady Panthers up by 3. Later in the first, Lady Panthers playing around the world. Jessie Money to Bella jumper to Lauren Elliott in the corner. She knocks the ball down, and they're leading by 6. Simmons staying tough. Jalayla Gadsden with the rock, the crossover pull-up J, and the Panthers now with a 4-point lead. Pine Grove gets the ball back now. 30 seconds left in the first. Brianna Baggett with the head fake, the drive, the pass fake, and the lefty layup. Lady Panthers go up 6, and they would not let up from there. Pine Grove controls the game and gets the win for the girls' 1A state championship. The final score, Pine Grove 44, Simmons 26.
Regardless of the three-peat, we got this one. That was our goal. It wasn't necessarily to win 3 in a row. It was just to get here, I'm not going to say dominate 1A, but that was one of our goals, to not lose to a 1A team, but just win this last one, make it to the last game, win that last game. And it just so happens it has to be sitting at a three-peat sitting at the end of it.
Amazing. I can't find the words for it. It just means a whole lot. Everybody just has always been here for us, and it's amazing.
Your last look is next. Stick with us.
WCBI sports coverage of the SEC basketball tournament is brought to you by Wade Incorporated. Bank First, a better way to bank. And visit Columbus, the city that has it all.
Some showers possible tomorrow, but some stronger storms, maybe severe weather again Saturday. This will be the 3rd weekend in a row for that possibility. More strong storms maybe by the middle of next week. The hits just keep on coming.
Yeah.
Makes the weatherman weary.
Sunday, though, we spring forward. That's our day to look forward to.
That is very good news.
You're liking that.
I love it. I love it.
Indeed. All right. Thanks so much, Keith. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Have a good night.